Welcome. This is it. This is the ultimate destination that all these college teams across the country have been working for all year long. The CARHARTT Bassmaster College Championship. Tommy Sanders, Ronnie Moore here again to offer some great analysis, fresh at the end of his college career at East Carolina. Ronnie, thanks for being with us one more time. And this is what these guys, some of these teams, guys and gals, have worked for since starting back in January for some of them.
No doubt. Once you get a taste of this championship, you want to come back every single year, and it forces you to raise your game every single year as well.
3 days of fishing, 85 teams in this thing on a body of water that none of them have really got any familiarity with. It will be a good test. Our champion will be a good team, right?
No doubt. Lake DuBay will challenge them in so many ways, just from mentally on suffering through the time lapses of catching fish, and versatility on fishing deep, shallow, with all kinds of techniques.
All right, we got 3 days of fishing for 85 teams. When it's all wrapped up, we'll have our national champions, and after that, we'll take the competitors from the top 4 teams. They'll go into bracketed competition to see who gets that one shot at the World Championship of Bass Fishing, the Bassmaster Classic. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, but right now, let's take a look at how these teams got here. The whole thing started with 5 regional qualifiers. The first one, the Southern, all the way back in January on the St. Johns River in Florida. And Ronnie, it was pretty much the local team who won.
Oh, they knew that the weather was going to change and that they needed to prepare multiple patterns to win, and that's what they did, and it paid off on the final day.
The Old Toric brothers, Thomas and James Old Toric, were the first winning team to lead a group of qualifiers to the national championship here in Wisconsin this summer. Second one coming up, well, that would be the Central, and very, very tough conditions on a well-known fishery, the Red River.
These local boys from Northwestern State, Johnny Leday and Justin Cooper, they know the Red River better than anybody else, and they just waited for the water to warm up, and they made it happen.
Another local team triumphs then. The Eastern, Lake Norman, and seems like we had another local team prevail there.
They had a secluded area protected from the wind, and those bed and fish shined on that final day when conditions were tough.
Catamounts from Western Carolina University, the Eastern Regional Champions. And then we'll take you all the way across the country to California near Sacramento. High up in the mountains, it's Folsom Lake Clearwater Fishery in Eastern Washington dominant.
Laj Tripp and Kyle Sitman finesse bed fishing on this deep, clear reservoir, and it paid off on the final day with his giant fish when they brought it to the scales in Sacramento.
Have a different sort of challenge when they get to the national championships, that is for sure. How about the Midwestern, a very well-known fishery up there as well, the Upper Mississippi with all of its nuances.
Northern Michigan said that they never throw a frog, so they had to sell out and buy as many frogs as they could, and it paid off big time in these backwaters of Wisconsin and Minnesota.
A great performance from Justin Brown and Brandon Bissell down from Marquette, Michigan. Should have fairly good knowledge of this type of fishing when they head to Lake DuBay over in Wisconsin. We'll see how it turns out for this team from Northern Michigan. Well, there are some more slots left in the national championship. For any team that didn't make it through their regional, there is one more chance, and it was called the wild card event. What better place to have that than a challenging but great fishery, Kentucky Lake?
Of course, when it gets near Kentucky Lake, ledge fishing is going to prevail, and Joshua Butts and Justin Rivers showed that on Lake Barkley's ledges on that final day.
Yeah, little Wallace State University from Hanceville, Alabama, Joshua Butts and Justin Rivers, a come-from-behind victory to lead the final group of qualifiers, the CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series National Championship in Wisconsin. 85 teams across the country from all different sorts of fisheries have qualified to go to the host city, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And this fishery, unknown to most of them, Lake DuBay on the Wisconsin River. Let's pick it up with our Eastern Regional champions here. The team from Western Carolina University, the Catamounts out there trying to make it happen.
We're in this holler and the mosquitoes are so bad I had to turn a hoodie upside down and put it over my legs because I'm wearing shorts. You can see them everywhere. They're terrible. We got 2 pikes so far and a walleye. No largemouth or smallmouth bass, but we're gonna keep grinding.
All right, the Fellowship of Christian Athlete sweatshirt on top, and good use for the hoodie on the bottom there. Austin Neary, the senior member of this team.
The mosquitoes in Wisconsin were big, and the bass, not all of them were, so it was tough to find keepers throughout the week, but you see Austin Neary hooks up with a smallmouth here, and every keeper was so valuable on this lake.
A good Lake DuBay smallmouth, and I can't get it to go 14. 13 and 15/16.
Oh, the keeper's so tough to find on Lake DuBay, and they would evade this team. Western Carolina University, Neary and Frazier, no fish on day one. That was a common story. But the University of Alabama seems like they're always there when national championship time comes around. 5th place with 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Tough fishing on DuBay, Ronnie.
Oh, no doubt about it. Every keeper is so valuable. Appalachian State in 4th place, Hunter Hill and Ethan House, 7 pounds, 14 ounces. They were actually fishing in a similar area as Austin Neary and Alex Frazier, so that's got to hurt a little bit.
Good job for them. That's an encouraging day number one. Also a great day one for the University of Minnesota. The Golden Gophers, low in Bergen, 2nd place tie with just under 8 pounds.
And LSU Shreveport, JP Kimbrough and Jared Rasco, they were also tied for 2nd, 7 pounds and 15 ounces of Lake DuBay smallmouth.
LSU Shreveport coming up big from down in Bayou Country, but the team that would beat them out for the first spot?
8 pounds and an ounce by 2 ounces. Texas A&M is taking over the lead right there. So as you folks can see, this is definitely a tournament of ounces, which means it's going to get very exciting as the days unfold. But there you go. Let's hear it for Texas A&M, your new leaders right there.
We're sitting in the lead right now. There's a lot of good sticks out here. These guys can fish. That's why they're here. There's a lot of big fish in the area we're fishing, and there's a lot of people fishing in there. So if they figure out how to catch them, that leaderboard can change really quick.
I think the one thing that we have going for us is we're in an area with a lot of other people, but we're doing something completely different. And we're fishing kind of a different type of structure. We're throwing some different stuff, and you know, we ended up catching them better than those other guys in there. So as long as they don't figure that out too, I think we're going to have our fish to ourselves.
The CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series is brought to you by CARHARTT and by Bass Pro Shops.
CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series and the ultimate event, the National Championship, Lake DuBay, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. 85 teams in it again. Full field fishing on day number 2, and a lot of these teams are going to have to get some big things done, considering 27 of them did not weigh a fish on day number 1. So the pressure's on everybody, but especially for those who zeroed on day 1. Not the case for Texas A&M University.
No doubt. These guys caught their fish so fast on day 1, had a 3-fish limit by 7:30 in the morning. But as we can see, day 2 wasn't so kind this morning.
Trying to figure out what changed.
Water level, pressure. It's gonna make us work for them today.
I guess it did seem a little too easy yesterday.
You gonna catch the first one, or you gonna make me do it?
I'm waiting on you to catch one. You always catch the first one. Figured after that little lesson I gave you yesterday, I'd let you catch a few today.
There we go. There is a fish in here. Good job.
It'll work. Yeah, he ate it just as good as they were yesterday.
That's good.
I'd like to call that one out too.
Yeah, no kidding.
But there's pretty good ones in here. There's plenty of 3-pounders.
Still in these reeds. We just gotta put it on their heads this morning, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna come after it. They'll eat it, but
Clear skies and no wind today. We only need 3 that size to stay in the top 5, but sure would like another 8 pounds.
Those cattails played big on day number 1 for Texas A&M, starting to play a little bit on day 2, albeit a good bit later schedule-wise. Ronnie, a lot of these teams coming up here think, we got to catch smallmouth, we got to find moving water.
Moving water was so crucial to their bite. These guys from LSU Shreveport, JP Kimbrough and Jared Rasco, are fishing at the base of the Lake DuBay Dam, and as you see, other teams are as well, and it was really hit or miss on who got the bites.
I mean, we're losing baits left and right. You saw I got a crankbait back, like I broke it off, got it back, made one more cast, broke it off. I mean, we're just losing crankbaits, we're losing tube jigs. It's just a grind. I mean, the thing about it is, you know, we may do this all day and not get a bite. We may do this and catch 10 pounds, 12 pounds, you never know. I mean, it's just one of them deals when they turn on here, they turn on and you catch them like real quick. But when they're not on, it's hard to get a bite. It's just got the biggest smallmouth in the entire lake. And so, I mean, we're gonna live on this one and live on this one until half day, and then we're gonna go to the other one if we don't get a bite here. Net. Oh. And we're losing a lot of them too.
Well, LSU Shreveport just under 8 pounds on that first day, finding himself in second place. Cannot afford to miss any opportunities on day 2, though, and they're finding out as many of these teams fishing in this dam area. There's also a healthy population of northern pike. There's plenty of catfish, carp, etc. in here, maybe perhaps even a walleye or two. So watch Auburn, not too far from LSU Shreveport, and boy, catching plenty of them, but keepers is what's needed, and that is a walleye.
No keepers for LSU Shreveport, but right in the vicinity of the University of Alabama, Appalachia and Shattuck's have a keeper in the live well. 5th place after day 1, and it looks completely different, but it's in the same vicinity.
You know, I feel better.
You know? It's like that feeling.
We can get one of those bites every now and then.
Dude, that's a 3-pounder almost. That was close to 3. That was a lot fatter than all the ones yesterday, guarantee it. It's crucial to have 3 every day. But not just 3 14 inches. I mean, one big fish is going to change up the leaderboard so much. Everyone's going to be so tight. So, I mean, those quality bites are really going to be important this week. There's not really a pattern here. I mean, we have an area. But
you can see we're just looking for that fish that's pushed up against that one rock.
Frankie Appalachia, a New Jersey native down at Alabama fishing there, and Logan Shattuck's the senior. Rising senior, 3rd year on the bass fishing team. Back over to our leaders after day 1. Like Alabama, they got 1 keeper in the live well, and at this point during the proceedings on this day 2, 1 keeper is like gold.
No, I think we're just gonna stick with it. We had those 2 bites here pretty recently that we missed, so I think if we just stick with it, grind it out, we'll be able to find us 2 more. Yeah, I think if we have, you know, 5, 6 pounds, I think we're gonna be fine. I know a couple of those other guys near the top yesterday said it took them all day to get their limit, and that was better than they'd done any day of practice, so I think if we can just come in with 3, we'll be okay. And come out here and wail on them tomorrow.
Got him.
Good one, yes.
Woo! Woo, man.
Thank you. One more. All we need is one more.
Yeah, one more keeper. We're right in it. I think I was more surprised than anybody to get that.
I heard it and I was damned you hit a carp.
I don't know how I stayed balanced on this thing setting the hook.
I'm just happy that fish stayed on. I didn't realize how big it was till it came through the reeds.
Bass thought he had him a nice little bird.
Yeah.
Bird pattern, where have we heard that before, Ronnie? Lake Havasu, maybe. Aaron Martins, Texas A&M, though, loving the toughness of this battle. 2nd day, the national championship, and some tough customers to deal with.
I was actually kind of excited to come here because I heard it was tough. Because, you know, you go to some of these big name lakes that everybody knows about, and, you know, half the guys out there are locals or fish it all the time. So I really felt like coming out here where there wasn't much prior knowledge by anybody really gave us a better chance of doing well.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy!
Woo!
CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series. This is it, the ultimate tournament, the national championship, Lake DuBay. Stevens Point, Wisconsin, coming in 4th place to the 2nd day. This team from the University of Minnesota, Trevor Lowe and Chris Burgan. We've seen another dam. This is a different one they're in the vicinity of.
Oh, the Mosini Dam was a big water generation area, a lot of current, a lot of rocks, and this is what they keyed on for most of the week, was just dragging their baits through those rocks, and smallmouth were loaded up in there.
Catching fish, not a problem like a lot of these teams, but Minnesota's still looking for the first keeper.
B14, please, for the love of God.
It's a grind out there. We just put our heads down and kept going at it all day and see if we can catch 3 more. Honestly, it's the name of the game right now, putting 3 in the live well.
Chris Burgan, the senior, Rhinelander, Wisconsin, has had a good college career as partner of the rising senior from Woodbury, Minnesota, Trevor Lowe, on this dam here. And you saw this fish catch, right?
Oh, it was so tough, such a grind for them. They'd get hung up, they'd break their line on these rocks, and they'd grinded through it though. And here they actually bounced off a rock, and then Trevor was hooked up with their second keeper of the day. Such an important keeper in the big scheme of this whole tournament on Lake DuBay.
3 keepers today is absolute success. They're 2/3 of the way there, and that is a good keeper for Lowe and Burgan from the University of Minnesota. Good job right there. They've made the right decision on day number 2. Let's get it over to Texas A&M University, who were questioning their decision a little earlier today when it was so slow, but they've got 2 keepers in the boat so far, and that is a good position. They know they've just got to catch 3 today, and they'll likely retain that lead into day number 3. Josh BENSEMA, Matthew McCardle doing a little bit of damage with maybe the bird pattern a la Lake Havasu on the Elite Series.
Tell you what, yesterday was a whole lot less stressful. And I still think we need a little more today, but we didn't know what to do the rest of the day yesterday.
Yeah, we got bored and went and sat down and ate lunch and just
we dropped
relaxed.
fire poles and ate and had some water and cruised around the lake. I didn't know what to do.
Oh my gosh. Why is there not a fish in there? Here, fishy, fishy.
You just gotta land it right on their head. On one more.
Oh, come on, baby. Come on. Yeah, buddy!
Woo!
Good job. I saw the reed shaking.
I think I ate it 3 times.
Hell yeah, he did. It's not a big one, but we'll take it.
Thank you.
Yeah, baby. Okay.
Yeah, that's keeper. Easy as 15-incher.
Left side?
Either way. We can tell which one's smallest. After
Man.
that, I'm gonna take a quick sip of water.
I didn't know if he was ever gonna get that frog in his mouth.
I knew we needed a few clouds.
Yeah, that's what happened. This water just came up a little bit, pushed him back in the reeds, gave him some water to hide in back there. When I flipped in there, I could actually see the reeds shake to him coming out. And I hit it 3 times before he finally got it. Feeling much better now.
Yeah, me too. My back doesn't hurt so bad.
Oh my God.
Whew. I gotta say, that is the bird pattern, right? The bird pattern. There's a bird right there. See, Ronnie?
No doubt about it. When we were on them, that's all they talked about was the birds landing in and out of that grass.
A&M prospering on day number 2, and that is not the case for the University of Alabama.
I know one thing is rougher than yesterday. Today was tough, and it started off a whole lot slower than yesterday did. I mean, yesterday we started off, we rolled up. Second cast, I helped put one in the boat. Today we went a good hour and a half without even having a bite. That ought to have a fish right there. That better go 14.
There.
Came off.
The fish coming off as Appaluccio went to swing it in, and Shaddix with the fantastic net job scoops it in. Second keeper of the day.
Yeah, 2 fish looks a lot better coming back in, so the University of Alabama, well, wiping a little sweat from their brow as they finish in the top 5. They'll be fishing on day number 3. University of Minnesota, and a good effort for this group today.
Trevor Lowe and Chris Bergen, 11 pounds and 12 ounces, beat out Alabama by just an ounce, but that's enough to get them fishing on day 3.
All right, obviously made some good choices on day number 2. UNC Charlotte, nobody wants to see them back in, not their fellow competitors.
The national champions have been here before, and this year they're back at it again in striking distance of the lead.
Jake Whitaker, Andrew Helms, your champions from last year, and look at this, Texas A&M, they figured to come back in the top spot again. But second place for A&M, BENSEMA, and MCARDLE after 2 days of fishing, but still a great, great effort. And on this tough day when today 40 teams come in without weighing a single keeper, there is one team that's able to jump all the way from 8th place to the top.
8 pounds, 7 ounces right there. Nickel State has not only taken the lead, that is the biggest bag of the tournament so far. Let's hear it for them. Your new leaders are right there.
Allison Marcel from Houma, Louisiana, and her partner Tyler Rivet from Raceland, Louisiana. This team making it into the top spot of the 5 teams who will fish for the championship on day number 3. And there we go, our top 5 laid out for you right there. Rivet, Marcel, 15 pounds even, right behind him, BENSEMA and MCARDLE. Day 1 leaders from Texas A&M hanging tough on day number 2. Whitaker and Helms, UNC Charlotte, your defending national champions from 2014. Top 3 teams leading these 5 in here. When we come back, hard to believe, from humble beginnings, it has been more than a decade now for the CARHARTT College Bassmaster National Championship. We'll take a look at that when we return.
UNC Charlotte has done it.
The CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series. It has been a long season, reaching all the way back into January, but we're here at the ultimate event, the 2015 National Championship. 85 teams started. We're down to 5 for the final day of fishing to decide our national champions. It's hard to believe the explosion that college bass fishing has undergone in the past, well, now over 10 years, going all the way back to 2005 when 6 teams were brave enough to show up for the national championship. College Smashmouth Bass, it was called back in those days. First and only possibly big tournament ever held on Lake Monticello, and the champions, the team from Stephen F. Austin University. The team from Nacogdoches, Casey Sobjack and Jonathan Gary, 11.2 pounds on this final day to take home that very first trophy.
Oh God, big fish, big fish, big fish, big fish. God dang. Come on, be over 21. Be over 21, son. He's 22, 23. It was...
In 2006 Arkansas Tech, Kevin Kuhn and Dylan Hawkins, Russellville, Arkansas natives, went to Pine Bluff Harbor where Rick Clunn had his record-setting classic. And those guys came away with the 2006 championship after catching 14 pounds on the final day after making an adjustment.
Listen, this will help. Yes! Yes!
Arkansas Tech, the second trophy for this team that worked hard on the Arkansas River and finished up in a place called Cane Creek. Made the adjustment, as you mentioned, Ronnie, and then got the job done. 3 days on the Arkansas River in 2007, and Virginia Tech came out on top.
There's the keeper. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Nice, baby. That's a great fish. That's 4 pounds.
That was the toughest of all 3 days, but Scott Wiley and Brett Thompson of Virginia Tech scratched out a win on the Arkansas River. Tough final day, one with 8 pounds and 8 ounces on that day. The next day, the fishing was a little bit more abundant, and the national champions turned out to be the hometown team, University of Arkansas at Little Rock. Jeremy Reese and Trent Gebhardt wrapping it up on a private lake.
You're right around a log. That's a good one. He's still on there. He's still on there.
I gotta get closer.
Reese and Gebhardt for the Trojans, making it look easy on that final day. to hold up their 21 pounds and 4 ounces. They win the championship and get to hold up the paddle. That became the tradition.
The next year, NC State, North Carolina State University, Will White and Chris Wood won on the Arkansas River, went in Forest Creek, where Virginia Tech actually won it a few years prior, and Scott Rook won a major in that creek as well on the Arkansas River.
Got one. That's a good one. Oh my God, dude, that is a giant. Oh my God. Crap. Holy shit. Hold on, hold on. Yes! That is game over. Game over.
Will White, Chris Wood, Forest Creek paying off for this pair as they bring the trophy home to NC State. The next year, 2010, would start a little run for Eastern Kentucky. Jonas Ertl and Tyler Moberly saw a lot of similarities between Brewer Lake and their home lake of Kentucky Lake, and they would wrap this one early on the third and final day.
Got it. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, baby.
That's a 6.
That. The first national championship for Eastern Kentucky, and that would lead to a string of good finishes for their club. Now we take you over to Stephen F. Austin. 2011, Ryan Watkins and Andrew Upshaw found the deepest spot on Beaver Fork Lake that they possibly could. Paid off for the national championship.
Of course, this team would go on to face one another at the end of the bracketed competition, and Andrew Upshaw would be the one that advanced for the first time, a college angler advancing to the Bassmaster Classic. 2012, over to Hurricane Lake near Benton, Arkansas. New national champions would be this team from Oklahoma State University, Zach Burge and Blake Fleury. And a special performance on the final day with 16-plus pounds.
Get it, 16 pounds, 5 ounces. Your 2012 CARHARTT Bassmaster Series College National Champions.
Oklahoma State with that title. And then we take you to 2013, Auburn, Montgomery, Jacob Nummy, Tom Frink, first year fishing Lake Chautauqua. They beat out the locals from Young Harris, Georgia. The rat bite was big time for this team, and they broadcasted it to the world with one of the most iconic catches.
You see one? Yeah, a couple of them. Oh, this side. Baby.
Thank you,
How do you like that? That's how you get this morning started right there.
Auburn, Montgomery, Nummy, and Frink, and El Raton, a big-time show from Lake Chautauqua, and a well-earned national championship trophy, first time for Auburn, Montgomery. And that looks familiar. Yes, we were back at Chautauqua for the next year. 2014 looks like almost the same spot, and the top water shines again for Jake Whitaker and Andrew Helms, University of North Carolina, Charlotte there. National championship again, locked down in shallow water.
Got him. Stay down, baby.
That's him, man.
That's him.
He's got it.
Bam, baby, boom! Good job.
Right there, baby.
10 pounds, 12 ounces. UNC Charlotte has done it.
Jake Whitaker, Andrew Helms certainly were the stars of the show a year ago. The 2014 championship on Lake Chautauqua in the mountains of North Georgia, certainly using that shallow water expertise to land the big fish, the real deal maker fish that locked that championship down for them. Of course, they're in the mix big time again this year. That's the story. And the top 5 who will face each other on the final day, the ultimate day of competition. Let's run down that top 5, see who we've got going. Tyler RIVET, ALLYSON Marcel with the lead from Nicholls State University.
It's a boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic that I haven't seen in college fishing, but they're making it work, and they're fishing the way they like to fish.
Josh BENSEMA, Matthew McCardle, Texas A&M has looked strong all through the first 2 days.
No doubt, they're working together as a team, throwing a 1-2 punch. McCardle's been in the championship before. This has been Bensema's first time, but they're making it work.
Whitaker and Helms, UNCC, you talk about experience in this spot. They got to be the favorites, right?
One of the best frog fishing teams that you will see in college. Both of them know when and where to throw it, and we saw it last year, and we're seeing it again this year.
From neighboring Minnesota, Trevor Lowe and Chris Burgan.
These guys have gone completely finesse, and they're using those tactics, and it's working out for them as they're right in the hunt.
University of Alabama certainly feels they're overdue. They've been so close so many years. Can Frankie Appaluccio and Logan Shaddix come from 5th place to take the top honor?
They snuck in through a tiebreaker, and you get there in 5th place, but these guys have won tournaments, and they know how to get it done.
All right, all will be told over the next 8 hours of fishing, the final day. 11th year of the CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series presented by Bass Pro Shops. This is the final day, the ultimate day of the entire season. The national championship will be decided today. 5 teams out there, including Alabama. Also got the University of Minnesota, UNC Charlotte, Texas A&M, and this team leading the way into the final day. This is ALLYSON, MARCEL, and Tyler RIVET, the team from Nicholls State University.
It's all about the W.
Fish. Smallmouth, huh?
What? I don't care what it is, as long as it's 14 inches.
Nope. Yeah, oh, the first. Oh.
That could cost us.
What fish? Hey. Pull it this way.
I'm trying to get him up. It's got to be a catfish. Definitely a catfish.
Let's hope not.
I know. It's huge, whatever it is.
Big old cat.
At least I can hook my fish.
If we're in Louisiana right now, I'd be eating.
Let's go fish a little back cove right here. You just gotta fish on that point.
What?
Let's go fish right here.
It's shallow. Yeah, don't scare me like that.
Scare you?
ALLYSON MARCEL from Houma, Louisiana, the nursing student who really couldn't make it to the regional, so said she had no problem with not going to fish the cold weather on the Red River. Happy to be here in the championship. No fish for that team so far today. Trevor Lowe, Chris Burgan, Minnesota Gophers, a strong day too for them.
Really, my eyes are set on winning this national championship for sure. I mean, I won the FLW national championship, and I think I'd be the first person to win both of them, which would be pretty awesome. But I mean, coming into this thing, we were kind of like, we really want to make that bracket. I mean, getting to the Classic is everyone's dream when they're young, so really just making it to that bracket is crucial, and it's obviously in the back of our minds, but we're really gunning for that #1 spot.
Yeah, definitely. I'm part of the Hmong community, and I've got a lot of the guys that are big avid fishermen, and they're really pulling for me. To be the first Hmong guy to make it into the Bassmaster Classic would definitely be something. It'd be something to talk about, and that'd be really a neat experience.
3 big ones today.
Let's get one right away today, so we don't have to worry. Let's see what they want today. Moving baiter on the bottom. It's a fish.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good one.
Yep. Keep it down. Keep it down. Keep it down. Go ahead.
Oh, snap.
Come this way. Trevor.
Go ahead. Yep. Bring it in. Bring it in. Come on, Chris. Where's he at? Where's he at?
Yes. Right off the bat, baby.
It's a giant dude. Give me some, man.
Right in the morning, man.
Give me some.
No question about it, that is the biggest bass we have seen boated so far in this national championship, and that is going to be big time for the University of Minnesota. Meanwhile, the University of Alabama still looking for the first keeper of the day.
Come on, fish, be nice to us, just choke it.
Never even had it. And the thing is, you don't know if that's a pike or a bass or what. You assume bass because that's what we're fishing for, but you'll never know either. If we got the memo. I think we have to catch fish to do good.
Yeah, I think that's how that works.
Alabama in 5th place. The national championship is everything, make no mistake about it, but you've got to be in the top 4 after this final day if you want to fish the bracketed competition for the classic spot as well. And earlier today, it was not looking good for 2nd place, Texas A&M. We've seen this in fishing tournaments before. You have to have your insurance straightened out, and Texas A&M encountered a snafu before takeoff.
Yes, ma'am. I'm at a fishing tournament, and I have to have proof that I have at least a $300,000 policy before I can take off this morning, and the paper I have doesn't show it. I need to put you on speaker and just have you tell us and confirm that I have the $300,000 coverage. I mean, this is like so crazy important. Like, this is a huge national championship tournament. Yeah, I mean, I have to get a hold of somebody. They're taking off the other boats now, and they're holding us back because I can't give them this information. Well, the insurance paper that we have on the boat doesn't have the right number on it. So we're trying to get a hold of an insurance person or somebody and get the right information so we can get out of here and get fishing.
We have to have proof of insurance up to $300,000, and we don't have that. We have proof of insurance, but just doesn't say $300,000 on it. And the insurance company's closed on the weekends, and we can't get a hold of anybody that can tell us that we have $300,000 coverage.
Well, Ronnie, we saw you in that shot. You were there for this entire ordeal that Texas A&M endured on the morning of the finals. What was the feeling there? I mean, these guys are watching everyone else go out. They had caught all their fish during this time period on the first day, so a lot of anxiety, right?
Oh, it was desperation, no doubt. They lost 50 minutes of their day. Like you said, their topwater bite was big time in the morning, and it's the final day of the national championship. This is the day you don't want it to happen, and we've seen it so many times, like you said earlier, and this is not the day that they want it. So they went ahead and bought a brand new insurance policy with another company just so they can get out on the water today because, like they said, their insurance was closed.
We didn't catch a fish till 9:30. We'll be out there by 9:30.
Maybe.
We will be. I mean, we'll have a new, if we have to do the new policy, we'll have that pretty soon. Well, we didn't have the right number on the insurance card. We started a new insurance policy, got the right amount, and now we're headed out at 6:50. 50 minutes late, but we didn't have a fish in the boat till 9:30 yesterday. We're not too worried. Staying positive, we're gonna get out there and catch them.
BENSEMA concentrating on the positive aspect, talking about the timetable from day 2 and not day number 1. And soon after that, the team back out there in very familiar surroundings. Those cattails so key to their success so far in this tournament, something they sought out on day 1.
Fish, fish, fish. Good one. Yeah, buddy.
Good job, Matt. It's one way to forget about losing an hour this morning.
A late start, but an early result, and an outstanding early result for Texas A&M, but so much more fishing to come on the final day. We'll be right back.
Right in the net, baby.
That's 14.
The CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series is brought to you by CARHARTT and by Bass Pro Shops.
This is it, final day of the CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series, and in this top 5, fishing the final day, formidable foes for everyone. Last year's national champions, Jake Whitaker, Andrew Helms from UNC Charlotte. Last year, in fact, for the last 2 years, this championship was held in the mountains of North Georgia. Lake Chattooga, and both years, big fish, shallow water turned out to be the thing that sealed the deal for the national championships. And this catch by Jake Whitaker in the last couple of hours of fishing really sealed it for UNC Charlotte. Very dominating win on this final day against some tough teams. Very tough teams in the top 5 then. Just like last year, they've got it cut out for them.
Last year, you know, we got to experience the win. And now this year, almost, I could say it made me a little more nervous because I want to win again. I know what it feels like. I want to do good. I know the feeling you get when you walk up on stage and, you know, hey, you're the champions.
So, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of difference. It helps, you know, last year we, you know, felt the pressure. We were able to, you know, capitalize on some good key fish last year, and we're hoping to do the same this year. But hey, it feels good. We're excited to be out here.
Well, again, 5 teams on this final day, and we are running out of time. We have headed into the final minutes of fishing and out there in some close quarters, Ronnie.
Oh, no doubt. They went back to near the ramp, and they ended up fishing in close proximity, throwing the same baits, both throwing topwater frogs.
So the team beat us in here.
Both throwing frogs. Wonder where they got that idea. Well, did y'all run out of fish too? Yeah, I think we did.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, Nichols State was running all back and forth too. And they left there pretty early. I think they left again, but maybe they ran all the way up there.
Texas A&M with that one keeper earlier today. Get one more in the boat. If this one is going to be the one, it's going to be huge for the Aggies. And that one will keep second fish today, 3 pounds and 10 ounces. This one's going to come down to the wire. We remember Trevor Lowe and Chris Burgan early today catching the biggest fish we've seen in this tournament, just under 4 pounds. That one huge for this team, but again, that's the only keeper they have at this point.
Lowe and Burgan caught fish all day long, just not all keepers, and it was very tough to grind it out in your area, but they're going to stick there until the end.
Might make the cut.
Get the limit. We already got our kicker.
I'd be okay with 3 kickers.
That's the goal.
I got a fish.
Good one?
Yep, I got a fish. Right in the net, baby.
That's 14.
Nice. Stop. Let's get another one.
That was the most nonchalant. Yeah, I think I got one.
I was like snapping the line because I could have swore it was just stuck and snagged. And then it started running and I was like, okay, I got one. America, that took
Trevor,
2 minutes to get
Trevor
it.
to the right. Hold it for him. All right, now get that baby in the live well. It's a keeper, it's number 2.
Oh, this one is going to be ever so close. A crucial second keeper for Minnesota. Let's take you to the weigh-in. And our day 1 leaders with 15 pounds after the first 2 days of fishing. ALLYSON, MARCEL, Tyler RIVET just couldn't bring any keepers in today. A common story for so many of these 85 teams who've competed throughout this competition. Andrew Helms, Jake Whitaker, 3rd place after 2 days of fishing. Need 1 pound and 14 ounces for the defending national champions from 2014. But again, another team with no keepers on this final day, which brings us to Trevor Lowe and Chris Burgan, 2 keepers today.
There it is, 5 pounds, 8 ounces. And the Gophers. The Gophers have taken over the lead. Look at those smallmouth. Let's get loud for them right there.
University of Minnesota, that big keeper early again was huge for them. Alabama, Appaluccio and Shaddix needed something today, started in 5th place, couldn't get it going. And for Texas A&M, started the day in 2nd place, cruised through most of this day with only 1 keeper in the boat, had a very, very beneficial flurry at the end of the day, which included 1 more keeper. Let's see if it's enough.
210, we have a tie, and we're going to a sudden death fish off. 211, you got it outright. 210, we've got a tie. 3 pounds, 10 ounces. The Aggies have done it. Shake hands really fast with Minnesota. We're going to have you reach in there. There you go. For the first time in 2015, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get loud for him here. 2015 CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series, presented by Bass Pro Shops, the national champions.
Josh BENSEMA, Matthew McCardle, and the Aggies take their first CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series National Championship with 18 pounds and 4 ounces on a tough Lake DuBay. Minnesota in second place, Nicholls State and UNC Charlotte will be the teams that advance to the bracket play.
Well, once again, congratulations to Texas A&M for a huge accomplishment, #1 accomplishment in the sport of college bass fishing, the national championship, the CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series. And of course, Ronnie, I think we have to owe them a debt of gratitude as well for providing all the drama on this final day, stretching it out, catching that winning fish right at the end of the day's fishing. Couldn't have been much better than that.
On the toughest day of college fishing competition I've ever seen, they stuck through it until the last second to pull out the victory, and that's one major accomplishment they'll never forget.
Absolutely the toughest we have ever seen in the history of this event. Now let's take a look at the next important thing coming up, and it is truly important. The competitors from the top 4 teams, those 8 anglers will compete as individuals in the bracketed competition for one coveted spot in the National Championship of Fishing, the Bassmaster Classic. We'll take a look at those matchups as we head into that. Coming up in our next show, Josh BENSEMA against Andrew Helms, Texas A&M versus UNC Charlotte.
Those guys, you see, Josh was the boater for his team and led his team to victory with that awesome frog catch. But Andrew's been here before. He knows the bracketed competition.
All right, from our maybe Cinderella team a little bit here, Minnesota, Chris Burgan going up against Tyler RIVET, Nicholls State.
Tyler RIVET knows how to fish shallow, that's his deal, and Chris Burgan's fishing deeper, and that's his deal. So we'll see how those conflicting strategies will work out.
All right, his Minnesota teammate Trevor Lowe going up against the first female angler to make it into the bracketed competition, ALLYSON MARCEL. How's that one going to match?
It's a pretty cool dynamic. Allison's going to get her shot to make history, and she is already. It's record-breaking. But Trevor Lowe's also been consistent this whole week in his approach, so we'll see if he can take any of that.
All right, Matthew McCardle, the national champion, is going to have his hands full with last year's part of a national championship team, Jake WHITAKER from UNC.
One of the best matchups, I think, on paper, just because of both of them are seasoned anglers. They've been here before in high tournaments, and WHITAKER's been in the bracket before. He knows he doesn't want to lose again in the first round. That was a bad taste, but both are national champions as well, so it'll be an interesting dynamic.
All right, a little bit of a venue change and everything on the line. A classic slot. The next time we see it, it'll be fun.
3 pounds, 10 ounces. The Aggies have done it. Your 2015 CARHARTT Bassmaster College Series National Champions.